We're going to go through how to set up the Spira Plus. Firstly, have a look at the instructions, have a good read through them, and also have a look at any additional information online. Get yourself comfortable in the chair, park your bottom towards the back of the seat, and we'll start with seat height. If you drop your right hand down by your side, towards the front there is a pebble-shaped lever. You can pull that up and that will make a difference to the seat height. You need that at a height where your feet are flat on the floor and the angle between your thighs and your trunk are slightly open. Your thighs should be sloping down just a little. That way you can keep your pelvis upright, which in turn keeps your spine slightly more in line. We're now going to look at seat depth. Again, your right hand just below the seat, you should find a button that you can press in to actually activate the seat depth. So if you push that in, you can actually slide the seat in and out. That needs to be at a depth where there's a 2 or 3 finger space between the front of the seat and the back of your knees, so that your legs can shift backwards and forwards without the front of the seat pinching behind your knees. And you want to avoid it being too deep so that you end up slouching into the backrest. Okay, now back height. If you grab the backrest anywhere, you can pull that up and you'll hear a clicking noise. That's actually the ratchet in the backrest, and you need to get that at a height where the curvature in the backrest, the actual pronounced part of the back, is really hitting you in the small of the back at about belt line. If you feel you've gone too far, you can pull the back right to the top and then it'll drop to the bottom again and you can start again. In terms of back angle, this has a few more adjustments than some chairs. If you drop your right hand down by your side towards the back, you'll discover the hand wheel. If you rotate that forwards, that actually reduces the angle between the seat and the back. If you rotate it backwards, you can open the angle. So you really want the backrest at a height where you feel like you're getting permanent contact along the length of your back. Not too acute, otherwise you'll feel like you're slouching forward, and not too reclined, otherwise you'll be too far away from the desk. Having done that, there are 2 bladders that are stitched into the upholstery, and you'll find the bulb that actually inflates those bladders down behind the seat. The one on the left hand side inflates the lumbar area, so you keep squeezing the bulb until you feel you've got sufficient air that's really filling up the gap around the lower back. If you feel you've overdone it, there's actually a valve by the bulb that you can depress and that will slowly take the air out again. There's also an additional air pump on this chair, and it's for the pelvic region. You may feel that you want some support slightly lower down in the pelvis area, again just to help keep that posture aligned. Having done that, you can park the bulbs underneath the chair again, and that's the back adjustment. Onto the arms. When your shoulders and elbows are relaxed by your side and your forearms are parallel with the floor, you really want the armrests somewhere close to your forearms. If they're too high, then your shoulders could be shrugged and it could put tension in the shoulders and neck. If they're far too low, you may find during the day that you're slouching into them without realising it. So there's a button just underneath the armrests. Get them to a height where they're just supporting the forearms. The armrests themselves, the pads, are adjustable in both depth and angle, and that's just a case of pushing or pulling the armrests to the desired position. If you're a very slim build, you might want to pull those armrests back so that they don't clash with the desk. Also, you might want to draw them in a little bit to give you support when you're typing. If you need additional width adjustment, if you follow the armrest right underneath the chair, there is actually a hand wheel that you can loosen so that you can then draw the armrests further out or further in to accommodate individual body size. If your chair has a headrest, moving on to that area now, then you can actually alter the angle and the height of the headrest just by pulling and moving the headrest backwards and forwards. It's not a support that you're going to use throughout the whole working day, but it's a bit of a postural template to remind you where your head should be quite often we find that our heads travel forwards as the day goes on and we're staring at the screen. So it's just a reminder for where it should be. So now we've gone through the basic setup, we actually want to take the handbrake off and actually get used to moving in the chair. So on the left hand side towards the front, there is a lever marked back lock. You push that down and then you can actually find that you've released the movement in the backrest. Now initially you may find it's either hard work to push back or it's too loose. So there is a fine tuning adjustment on the right hand side, which is a hand wheel towards the front of the chair, and you can rotate that forwards to give you more resistance or rotate it backwards to actually take the resistance off. Keep going with that because you need to do quite a few revolutions to make a difference. So in Johnny's case, he's going to knock that back so that he can actually get some real freedom of movement. You need that feeling of floating backwards and forwards. And if you can keep that unlocked for most of the day, that's going to encourage the blood to circulate around the body and it's going to provide nutrition for the discs. Now that you've done all those things, you can draw the chair up to the desk and make sure you're still comfortable, and we would keep that chair unlocked most of the time. When you're reaching forward for items, don't be afraid of actually coming off the backrest so that you're not overreaching with your arms. Make sure that the things on the desktop are fairly close to you within a comfortable range of reach. But with the chair unlocked, whether you're leaning back, reaching for something or talking to colleagues, the chair's now going to move with you rather than you adopt a twisted posture. And if we can now just swap places, having been through that setup, it's actually not very difficult to set it up for the next person. Just the same you would in altering a car seat when someone else has used your car. I can very quickly make those adjustments necessary so that I can get on with the work. It's going to take a minute or two to get that set up for me, and I'm going to put a little bit more lumber in that area, and now I can get on with the work without too much effort.